der Gewinner ist, könnt ihr mal die LEDs anmachen?
Das spannende Licht bitte.
Bettervest!
Well, the basic idea came up in 2006 during my work as a trend and future researcher when I discovered for the first time the crowdfunded platform Tribe Wanted, where 5,000 people jointly crowdfunded an island in the South Pacific. Already then it occurred to me that the whole thing could also be applied to the subject of sustainability. It was like a kind of brainwave, and so the two ideas merged together: crowdfunding and energy efficiency. Then, a few years later, at the startup weekend here in Frankfurt, I met two of my later co-founders, and together we began to put into action what had started out as a simple idea.
Well, this is Yevgeny Cherahov, my colleague from the IT sector. Yevgeny was one of the 3 original funding members who won first prize at the startup weekend in June 2012 in Frankfurt with the bettervest idea.
Yeah, this is Marilyn Hype.
And this is Marilyn Hype. She has a diploma degree in mechanical engineering with a focus on energy efficiency. Actually, we lacked the experience in this particular area. And then we discovered a book which initially proved a great help, entitled Success Factor Energy Efficiency, to which Marilyn had contributed. Due to some unusual circumstances, we got the chance to meet Marilyn, and she was instantly enthusiastic about joining us.
For the founding team at bettervest, it was clear from the outset: for the financing of climate-friendly, energy-efficient projects of companies, associations and communes via crowd investing, new approaches have to be adopted. Whether a fitness gym franchise that wants to save costs and energy through energy-efficient LEDs, or a family hotel near the Mosel River planning to install an energy-saving cogeneration plant, during the project design phase, customers are in need of competent energy consulting. Also, there is the need for intensive preliminary talks with the project partners who implement the measures together with bettervest, such as providers of lighting concepts. But how do we get citizen investors to invest amounts of 50 euros upwards? This is where you need a virtual networking booster, the broad range of examples in social media, such as Facebook and Twitter. On the bettervest YouTube channel alone one can find over 100 videos. And blog posts are written assiduously. Social entrepreneurs seek to encourage awareness among citizen investors. Together it is possible, even by way of small contributions, to attain a sustainable and better future. And no less profitably, since investors partake in payouts of savings. Better invest in bettervest runs the motto, and so there are also convinced multi-investors like Jörg.
I've invested in almost all projects of bettervest. In this way, I've set up a broad portfolio. Over the past 2 years, I've accumulated some 30 projects.
bettervest sees it as a strength that thanks to crowd investing, marketing strategies and investment security are merged for the project partner. Without having to introduce capital, businesses from entirely different sectors are able to implement their energy-saving objectives and thereby show themselves in a new Green West. This is also a convincing argument for the Bavarian printing company Kastner & Kalwey with its bettervest flagship project, in which the startup capital for a solar system and LED lighting was raised through crowdfunding.
Bettervest has already opened up contacts for us today that we didn't have before. We are printers. We can print and have a good knowledge of paper and color, but we know absolutely nothing about the actual marketing process. And this is where you're giving us really strong support. What's being done here in terms of marketing right now is what you stand for, and we like that a lot.
Although bettervest has meanwhile received several awards for young entrepreneurship, innovation and sustainability, the Frankfurt-based company suffered quite a few setbacks when first starting up its business.
Well, such a setback occurred at the very start. We had set our sights on a first pilot project, when our customer then suddenly said, "Actually, I have changed my mind. I'd rather not go through with it, because my customer will then say that I do not even have the resources to finance it myself." We were lucky and managed to find another project in August 2013, and it was this that signaled the start of bettervest.
It was not only the pilot project that was a tricky issue for bettervest. It took a year before the platform was able to go online.
Bettervest is an online financial platform. And when it comes to finances, legal and regulatory issues play a very, very crucial role. Therefore, lots of things have to be developed especially for us, because we conclude lots of contracts. On the one hand, there are contracts between the project owner and ourselves. For this purpose, an escrow account must be set up. And then there are contracts between the investor and the project owner. It took 1 year until we could go online with the pilot project in 2013.
During its startup phase, bettervest forced its way through and has meanwhile concluded nearly 30 projects. Do Marilyn and Yevgeny have any tips about what one should watch out for as a startup?
Every startup initially has to establish a name for itself, which is one further reason why the pilot project is very important. You just won't earn any money without customers. The best idea is worthless if you're not doing any business.
I think that the startup world is something like a roller coaster. At first, everyone believes in his idea, but I'm firmly convinced that it's important to take a pragmatic approach. Will the idea really be accepted by the market? And to try the whole thing out as quickly as possible. And of course, you should also have a sense of the costs involved, or the initial funding needed, because the whole thing won't work without it. Also, the team is very important, that they complement each other. This is a crucial thing.
The experience with the project shows that more service is required for the investors. And thus there's a new platform version, bettervest 2.0 online. What are the features?
This is a new project view, and it's much, much clearer. You can also look at it sideways like this, and you will have a much, much more graphic and detailed view of all the information. When I look at this project, what we've got here is a sample project, one of the key features is this financing calculator, because we found that the investors sometimes haven't got a real concept of the financial side, and with the help of this slide bar, you can really comfortably look at it. Now, when I want to make an investment, I see at once, okay, I would like to invest 1,000 euros now. Then I will see which repayments I will get over the years and which share of them are interest payments, and I can see this immediately, and the graphics are animated too. So I can see at once what money I can reckon with, and so I can arrange the whole investment accordingly.
The Frankfurt-based company also plans to break out into new terrain. Bettervest goes Africa. Among the items on the agenda is the efficient modification of a hotel in Mali with the construction of a photovoltaic system, modernization of the air conditioning technology and new energy-efficient lighting. This project advanced by Bettervest has both a personal and a moral dimension.
We founders of Bettervest all come from the sustainability scene, and all of us, alongside our jobs, are also actively engaged in non-profit voluntary work. And the reason why we very much like to get involved, particularly in these countries, which once used to be colonies, is that we would very, very much like to get active there, in order to provide a little bit of compensation for this injustice that arose many hundreds of years ago. Let's make the world better every day.